I'm Dr. Revels, and you're listening to the REVELSations Podcast. Please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts, and let me know that you are listening. Share this to somebody and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell an enemy that you are listening to the REVELSations Podcast. And remember, we are all family and friends, so please call me Rev. The topic of today's verse is the hill to die on. The hill to die on. Let's get into some dictionary definitions as we like to do here on the REVELSations Podcast so we're all on the same page. The first definition is just that: the hill to die on. It is a metaphor for a principle, belief, or issue that someone is so committed to that they are willing to defend it with extreme convictions and face negative consequences if need be, and refuse to compromise or back down. The hill being the issue, and they're willing to die on this hill rather than relinquish that hill or back down from those convictions that they have. And we have another saying that sort of goes along with it. And that saying is, I would rather die on my feet than to live on my knees. It means that it is better to stand for one's principles and fight for them even to the point of death, rather than surrendering those beliefs and those ideas. So I would rather die on my feet, die standing for what I believe in, than live on my knees, subject to what somebody else feels or what somebody else says. And now our last one is pride. The definition of pride is a feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievements, the achievements of those with whom we are closely associated with, and qualities of possessions that are widely admired, or the consciousness of one's own dignity. So, like how well we do something, how we feel about something, and we can be prideful. So, let's get to it. I said the hill to die on. Take a moment to think about this question. Have you ever met someone who is very prideful? They are like, you know what? I'm accomplished. I'm here, or what I said is true, and I'm just going to stand on this belief. And they are so prideful that even if they're proven wrong, they're willing to die on a hill. They're willing to die on this hill. They're willing to face negative consequences. They're willing to lose out on great opportunity just so they don't have to say that they are wrong, or just don't have to admit fault. Think about that. Have you ever met somebody like that? I know you're thinking about it in your head. Yeah, I know this person from work, this ex, this friend that I have. But how many times have you done it? How many times have we done it, I should say, where we are so prideful that we know we're wrong and we're willing to lose out on a great opportunity, something or someone that's in front of us, just so we can prove that we're right, just to say, you know what? Nope, I stand on my convictions and I'm willing to die on this hill. And for the record, I am all for dying on hills. I talk to my friends all the time and they say I'm stubborn, and I'm really stubborn about my principles. And I could probably have a better life in some ways if I was just to conform this way or do something another way. And I just stand on it. I'm like, no, I can't do that, because I won't be able to face myself in the mirror knowing that I am in this situation living on my knees, or in this situation I've walked away from the hill instead of defending it. But I try not to be extreme in those ways where, if it's not something that I'm super convicted about, and I'm not typically convicted about being right, I think I'm right, but I always could be wrong. And I often tell people that just because I think this way, or just because this is my opinion, it doesn't mean that I'm right. It just means that this is the conclusion that I've drawn based on the evidence I've had and the experience that I lived. But there are some people out here that are so prideful, and I've been this way as well in the past in some ways, but I try not to be, that they would rather starve their future than feed their humility. The humility, the humbleness. You know what? I'm not right on this one. I need to fall back a little bit, or I need to change my ways because I don't want to miss out on this opportunity. And oftentimes we have people that will miss out on a great opportunity just because they are unwilling to feed their their humility. They're unwilling to say, you know what, humility, you got to take this, and we just got to be humble on this one. They would rather torch a bridge than cross it in the wrong shoes. Meaning, they would rather burn the bridge than have to use somebody else's shoes to cross it, because they just feel that they're so right in the way they do things. And they would rather miss the harvest than admit that they misplanted the seed. They would rather just say, you know what, I'm just going to take this bad seed and it's going to grow and it's going to miss the harvest, rather than saying, you know what, I messed up, let me redo that. And I think that we have this overarching need to be right, or need to be seen as right by others. And I just want us to take a minute to think about how many opportunities or how many people that we have lost because of our pride or because of our stubbornness or because of us being willing to die on the wrong hill. I heard somebody say something about climbing a ladder, trying to get great things, trying to be a great person. And what a terrible place to be in when you climb to the top of the ladder only to realize that it is leaning against the wrong wall. And you have some people out there that even though they know this is the wrong wall, even though they know this is the wrong hill to die on, they'll do it just because they're unwilling to admit fault, unwilling to admit wrong, unwilling to say, you know what? I didn't get this one right. I need to pivot and go another way. And those people that happen to be that way, or the times that we are that way, it's being stubborn. It's being prideful. And stubbornness and pridefulness only harms us. Now, I'm not saying that you should just give up your convictions in 5 minutes or every time the wind blows. No, we have to stand on something. And there are some hills that we need to die on. There are some things and some principles that we do not need to give up just because it might provide us with another opportunity. Those people that do that, we say that they sold their souls. They sold their souls. But I think we have to choose our battles and choose them wisely. And some hills are just not worth defending. Some points are just not worth dying on. So in the public lexicon, in the public discourse, I should say, there's a lot of things that I do not agree with, but they're just not hills that I'm willing to die on because I could do so much greater in another way. And if I die on this hill or get canceled or become a person that people don't like because of this one principle, I'm missing out on all the good that I can do in the future because they have X me out, they have canceled me, or they don't like me because I decided to die on a hill that's not really worth it. But I do believe that we should be people of principle. For those of who know Rev is a strong man of principle. But I am actually not a person that is so prideful to where I can't be proven wrong. It may take a while. You may have to convince me. I'm hard to convince, but that's because I'm strong in my convictions. And I think that's a proper way to be. So sometimes we need to be strong in our convictions and we need to be strong. It needs to be hard to convince us otherwise, or we'll just be like a thought in the wind, just moving about. But when we are proven wrong, when we can see it another way, and it's not necessarily always about right or wrong, but we can see it another way. What's wrong with pivoting? What's wrong with saying, you know what? I want to do this another way, or I should do this another way. And this is not the hill that I should die on. You know what? I'm going to let this person have it. I'm going to sacrifice my right for their wrong. Or I'm just going to accept the fact that I am wrong so that I can go to another hill. And you know what? I don't have to die on this hill and die being wrong. Because oftentimes the hills we die on are not hills that we're correct on. There's another way of thinking. There's another way. There's another perspective. But again, I'm not talking about those things that are solid and we should stand on it. Things like treating people right. Things like advocating for ourselves. Things like being confident in ourselves. We should stand on that. We shouldn't let people treat us wrong. But there's so many other things that we are willing to fight and lose out on relationships, lose out on opportunities, lose out on people, lose out on jobs, lose out on finances for. And then we have other people who are just so willing to just change and not stand on their principles just to get the next opportunity. And like all things, I think we need a balance. Think we need to find the middle. So there's some people that take pride over progress. And I've been there before. Haven't you? Haven't you taken pride over progress at some point in your life? They're losing to avoid losing face, or they would rather lose out on this good opportunity rather than to lose and say, you know what? I need to apologize for that person because I need to try to recoup this relationship. I need to try to recoup this job. Nope, I'm not going to do that. I would rather remain poor than go back and ask for forgiveness and become rich. And I don't necessarily mean financially. And why do we do that? How does that serve us well? How does that help us at all? And I'm into self-help. I want to do what is best for me. It is not best for me to always let my convictions go and just follow whatever trend that's going to get me better in the short term. That is sacrificing my future as well, because I need to be able to sleep at night and I need to be able to look myself in the mirror and be okay with what is staring back at me. But at the same time, I cannot be so prideful and I cannot be so convicted and willing to die on a hill that is not worth dying on, to where I now died on that hill and nothing comes of it. So I just want us to think, when we are really standing on an issue, is it worth standing on that issue? Is it worth losing a relationship over? Is it worth losing a friend over? Is it worth losing job opportunities over? Is it worth losing whatever is coming your way? Is it worth it? Is it a hill that you should die on? Is that something that you should be so convicted in that you're willing to take negative consequences? Is it better to be wrong than to be proven wrong? Meaning, I'm going to live in this wrongness. I'm going to live in this way that I should not live. I'm going to stand on this principle that I should not stand on. I can't let this person know that, you know what, I shouldn't have treated them that way, or I missed out on a great opportunity with them, or I missed out on this great opportunity at a job. I'm not going to go ahead and say that. I'm not going to go ahead and ask for forgiveness, because I would rather stand in my wrong than to live in someone else's right. It's just a thought. It's just an idea. Real quick, that's all I have for you today on the REVELSations Podcast. Please subscribe, rate, review wherever you get your podcast. Let me know that you're listening. And again, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that you have listened to the REVELSations Podcast. Share this with somebody. Hit the thumbs up button, like it, and you can contact me directly at REVELSationspodcast@gmail.com. I am because we are. Hallelujah, holla back. Peace.
Yeah, the revelations now televised. A platform for you and I. And now look with full heart and clear eyes. Now, these are just my thoughts. Truth on how I feel on these topics I reveal. Please know my toll, I always keep it real. Can't face the word if you can't face facts. For your time, just open up your mind. That's it, just live, think big, now take that. With God in me, this here was made by design. Yeah, the revelation will be televised. REVELSations.